Hi, this is Hans Westman, and we are going to return to Blender using different exercises to become familiar with the software. This time, we are going to do a specific object. We're going to do an apple, and I am going to first delete this cube, which we have. As soon as this is opened up, I hit the letter X, and then I can decide if I want to cancel or delete. This time we are going to go to Add, and add, instead of a plane, we are going to use a UV sphere. If I click on that, and just to go over again, the key which has the tilde sign on it, if we click on that, brings up a menu for the different aspects for being able to view the objects in the viewport. View selected brings it up, and as you can see, this is a little bit more dense as far as the construction of the object is concerned. And before we go further, we're actually going to delete this one more time. X, redo this once more with Add, Mesh, UV Sphere. And the reason that I'm doing that is that when you first create the object, you get this menu in the lower left-hand corner, where you can again go in and manipulate what it is that you want to have as far as the distribution of faces and vertices and such on the surface of the object. Here I'm going to change this to 8, and on the rings I'm going to change this to 4. So we have a very rudimentary and simple object which we are going to be working with. I can also, as I did before, go to the viewport display, and I'm going to activate wires just because it's sort of fun to be able to see these things. Middle mouse button and dragging is how I get this to work. We are also going to add one other thing here too, and right here, this icon is for object properties. We're going down to modifiers. We are still in the object mode. Add modifier, and we're going to go down to generate, back again to multi-resolution. And by doing that, we are now going to go to subdivide, and you see that we have a different distribution of polygons here. If you hit tab, we go back to our original state, and what we're going to do now is hitting the number 1, getting access to the vertices, and then also go to the move tool. We're going to pull this down in the x-axis, just like this, and middle mouse button to get underneath to the bottom. Click on this one again, the blue arrow, pulling this in the x-axis. Now, being as that I have the region select option available, if we hit W once again, you can see that we can cycle through this. I'm going to region select all of these guys which are underneath. If I want to make sure that I don't, actually if I can grab all of these, if I change this to, if I hit Z, wireframe, then I can see these things behind, and that way I can also get all of these. And then I'm going to now go and scale these to a common median center. And that we do here. If you take a look at this, the median point, that's what we want. Common center here. Pull this down just a little bit. And if I hit tab, then you can see that the shape has started to change. You see that? So now that I can manipulate this in different ways, and I can, for instance, in this case, Z, if I go back to solid, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an edge loop right here. And the way that I can do that is if I hit the number 2 in edit mode, and and let me see here, if I go to edge, in this menu up here, edge, and then I go into loop, cut, and slide, that would be an okay thing to do. So we're going to click on that, and click once, click twice, and there you have it. So what I'm going to do now here is I'm going to manipulate this just a little bit by, first of all, holding down Alt, clicking on this guy, and then I can go to the Scale tool, again, move this in just a little bit like that. This one I can go to, which is Alt, move it up just a tad, like this, and W, or I should say 1, the number 1, back to the vertices, and every other vertice I'm going to select, which would be Shift and click like this, and I'll move these down about like this. It looks funny here, but you're going to see that it's going to make a huge difference once we get into looking at how it looks like in the apple. Next thing I can do is this, is I can click on this one up here, and I'm going to introduce you to a new tool that we can use here, which is Soft Select. And if we click on that, you can see that there are different options, and we want smooth is what we're going to work with. So if I hold down my left mouse button and I drag, you can see that there is a circle which is showing you the influence of the soft circle. And you can see that there is more than one of these different sections which are being influenced. And what I'm going to do here is, if I use my middle mouse scroll wheel, I can draw this up and down like this, or I can change it even here as well too, with the influence proportion size, like that. So if I take it up to that level, you can see the size there. Control Z, and if I take it once again, and I do this, I can go to 0, and enter, and then it won't be anything at all. There you go, just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scroll wheel, and now you can see that this whole thing is maybe just a little bit irregular. We can also take this guy, Shift, let's go to 2 again, and Alt, and then I'm going to take the rotate right here, and this white circle is in alignment with the viewport, But then you have X, Y, and Z, which is in alignment with the actual positioning of the axes and planes, X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to do this actually here with the white and just draw it just a little bit. However, Control Z, I don't want the soft select, so I'll turn that off again. And I'll just move that just a little bit like this. So now, if we hit Tab, you'll see that there is a difference in the way that this actually looks. So from here, what I can do, again, Tab, I can go and be a little bit more dramatic with this guy here. This vertice, number 1, there you go. Pull that down, and then I can check it out, see how this looks like that. And then maybe I can add another one of these edge loops right in here. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. And it would be here at the edge. And I can bring it in just about. Should be able to put it in right like this. Hold on a second. Z. No. There we go. It would be number 2. Let's take this one more time again. Edge. Loop. There we go. But then you can see that we have a different type of distribution on those. So I think I'm going to bring it in here instead. There. And yeah, okay. So that we have this one working for us just like that. So I'm going to pull this one up instead. Just about like this. And then I can take Control and I bring that one in. And let's scale this in uniformly. So it's a little bit more like that. And see how this has changed the shape also of the apple. But before we do that, let's take the move, do a soft selection, and pull this up kind of dramatically like that. And now, let's go back to Tab, and you can see how that looks. All right. Yeah, okay, so that's basically how it works. I should be able to pull this down and change this one more time. So let's hold on Alt and get rid of that. And then we can expand on it just a little bit. And then let's see what it looks like now. There. Maybe it's a little bit better. There. A little bit extreme here. This is just fine tuning, but I'm just going to go ahead and bring this down one more time. Just because I have to. And yeah, okay, so we have this one there. Tool, soft selection. Actually, let's do like this instead. We'll just do it manually. Shift, that one, and that one. Bring it down. Yeah, I think that's good enough right now. So, a little bit more information as far as what we can look at. One last thing that we can also consider. If we go to View, we go down to Area. We can decide also if we want to toggle between a quad view, Control Alt Q, so we can see this in the different areas like this. So Control Alt Q is my toggle there, and that's as far as we need to go for this particular introduction.